Also, the Premier League season ending at the end of this week. The season will be over, and people like me, a Burnley fan, will be either in the sea or in the sea crying. For many football clubs, you guys want to be looking straight into the transfer window in terms of how can you improve your squad. So today I'm doing a video about who your Premier League club should sign in the next season. Now, I will also include the likes of Watford in here and Norwich and either Burnley, Leeds, or Everton, one of the three that could also go down because they're in the Premier League now. So I'll count like Norwich and Watford for who they should try to sign in the Championship, and then for Burnley, Leeds, and Everton, who they should sign if they do stay up. If you guys do enjoy, smash the like button and also subscribe if you're new. Tell me down below in the comments who should your club sign in the season. Even if you're in the Championship or you're a fan of a club in Scotland, tell me down below who should you guys sign. And if you agree or disagree, really, because some of these I'm very convinced will be like the players that you should be going for. Some, it could be one or the other. It could be a mix. With that said, hope you guys do enjoy, and let's get stuck in. Yo, do you play FIFA 22? Yeah. Is your team bang average? You absolute pathetic piece of... You're saying that to the viewers? No, obviously. Ah, okay. I mean you. Do you face teams like this? You can't keep getting away with it! Do you know there's a way to get coins? Why are you shouting at me? Then go to userbuy.com for the cheapest and most reliable place to buy your coins on FIFA 22. Link is down below in the description, and also use code Vizeh at checkout to get a discount. Starting off, Newcastle up the tune. So this is probably one of the most obvious ones out here. This is by far the most obvious shout because there's so many links, there's so many connections, and because it'll make the most sense for the team to make it better. And that is Lucas Paqueta, of course, best friends with Bruno Guimaraes, and he was literally in Newcastle the other day in Newcastle playing football in his back garden of Bruno's back garden wearing a Newcastle shirt, okay? I mean, the Brazilian connection will just make sense. Of course, you're seeing the flags everywhere with Joe Linton and also with Bruno, and it will make sense for the new generation. It's not like they got no money, so when it comes to the most obvious signing, you know, to improve that midfield, improve that attacking threat as well, that creative threat, I think this would make the most sense because he's got the strong to Bruno. He's also Brazilian. He's literally been in Newcastle every day. He's literally wearing Newcastle shirts. If this doesn't happen, then something seriously has gone wrong here. Norwich, I'll get Norwich done and out of the way because, of course, they're going down to Championship. So this is their signing for who I think they should get when you're in the Championship. And I think it makes sense for the way that how Norwich works, which I think would suit the kind of Norwich mold. And that is Scott Twine. Scott Twine will be having a lot, and I mean a lot of clubs wanting him. Potentially even Premier League clubs on a lower level, like the likes of maybe like a Brentford, maybe for example. But I think Norwich, I mean, if they want to get a player, I think Scott Twine is that guy that they could try to get, and I think he won't be that much money. It will suit the kind of Norwich system that I think that nice little football. They're going to have a lot of fun in Championship as they always do, and Scott Twine will get the service that he needs, and I think for me it makes complete sense. Villa, Aston Villa, who should they sign for next year? Because, of course, they've had, you know, a bit hit and miss at times, and I think a big part of that is because of the midfield. And I think one player that you should try and get for the midfield is the likes of Calvin Phillips. It's pretty much confirmed, even if Leeds do stay up, that he is going, from what we've seen and from what I've gathered from a lot of Leeds fans. Staying up or going down, I think Phillips will be looking forward to taking that next step. There's already rumours, strong rumours of him being linked. I think right now it's between the likes of Newcastle and also Aston Villa for Calvin Phillips. So there's already links there right now. And I think also the link of Gerrard with Phillips, you know, just try getting that up and coming English in the mid. I think for me that makes the most sense, and I think Phillips being coached by Gerrard would be exciting for him. So I think Calvin Phillips to Aston Villa, for me that makes a lot of sense. Arsenal. Now, of course, as of right now, it's looking like they're not getting top four, as Spurs literally just needs to like not lose against Norwich away, and they have got top four. So the odds of Norwich beating Spurs, I mean, I've seen crazy things happen, but I highly doubt it. So this is with the context of them not being in top four. I think even if they are in the Europa League, I think he could still join anyway. But there's been also links of him wanting to come back to England, and that is Tammy Abraham. Now, I know there's a Chelsea links, and maybe that could be a big problem of why he may not come because of those Chelsea links. But I've been hearing a lot of Jose Mourinho that he has got, you know, a passion to still come back to Premier League. Arsenal, they need a striker desperately. So if they really want one, I feel like Tammy Abraham would be the one to go to, and that make a lot more sense than the likes of a Calvert-Lewin, who's not done it for a year. Tammy Abraham's become almost like a cult hero at Roma, and for that reason alone, maybe he wouldn't even want to leave. But if they will need a striker, Tammy Abraham is a player that can make that step up, which is realistic, even if they're not in top 4. Leicester City, up the Foxes, and I think for Leicester City, what I would like to see, and I think because it's looking likely that Youri Tielemans will be leaving Leicester, so there'll be a massive gap in the midfield and that kind of DM role. And I think one of the best up-and-coming talents right now in world football, which I think Leicester can bring in, is a man of the name of Ibrahim Sangare. The PSV Ivorian midfielder has got a lot of attention in the last couple of months of his performances, and I think Leicester could be that perfect outfit to give him guaranteed game time, because if he goes like a Chelsea, which I've seen links to, I don't think he'll get the guaranteed game time that he'll be really wanting. I'm seeing links between Leicester and Sangare right now. I'm seeing that there is interest, that they are looking at him. So I think this would be the best for all parties. Southampton. Now, I'll be honest here. This was, for me, the hardest one, because I've seen absolutely no links right now with Southampton. So if in doubt, when it comes to Southampton, just go for a Liverpool player that's kind of like to the side a bit. So I'm just going to name half the Liverpool squad that could maybe join. Harvey Elliott, Divock Origi, Minamino, again, just take him again. Maybe even Oxlade-Chamberlain. Like, honestly, I don't know. I've been looking about to see if there's any, like, transfer links or any players that I think can improve them, and I'm barely seeing anything. So just anyone at Liverpool that doesn't play consistent football, maybe. Brighton, Seagulls. Okay, thanks for the draw to Leeds. I guess it's, it could be worse, could be a loss, but thanks for that. Brighton, any striker in world football that's got legs. That's literally what I'm giving you. Just literally any striker. Any striker. It's actually really annoying me how, like, you keep on, like, making all these great chances, great creative players, and you just haven't got that ruthless clinical finisher. So literally anyone. Everton. Now, of course, this is one of the 3 of Leeds and Burnley that could be going down still by time of the recording of this video. So I will say it as if they stay up and who I think they should get. And for me, it hurts me to say, but I mean, one of these teams have to get him. And I think out of all the teams, they desperately need this kind of player, and that is a solid centre-back. And sadly, as a Burnley fan, it's got to be James Tarkowski. He's going on a free in this current summer. Okay, he's already been getting links to West Ham and the likes of Newcastle and Everton as well. It's around the area. I don't know if Tarky would want to go. I don't know. Maybe Newcastle may be more interesting, but Everton should be doing all they can to get Tarkowski. He's literally on a free. At Manchester United, it's a number 6. It's a DM. They need a DM. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to go through. I can't name you another attacker, okay, because they've got enough of them. Now, a defender, yeah, that makes sense. A defender would also be a good signing, but they need a 6. They need a proper DM in there, and there's many different options that they can go for. I'm mean, also links to the likes of De Jong because of the Dutch link, also Anthony because of the Ajax link. But for number 6, who I think they could get, and I think would just be really good in that role, and just a nice composed head that can tick the ball well, which they don't have, Ruben Neves. Wolves fans are already quite concerned that Ruben Neves will be moving on, and I think if Manchester United comes in, I think that would be a big signing for. Man U have already been linked to every single player in world football, so it doesn't really mean much when it comes to links, but I think Ruben Neves at Manchester United will be great. That strong, that composed figure, still young, still got years in him, and I think he's a great player that will just keep the ball moving in midfield, will be smart on the ball, can actually manage the game out well. Right now in the midfield, they need to do simple things and actually control games, and I don't think they do that. So I think Ruben Neves can offer that. Crystal Palace, the Eagles, and this may be a cop-out. It most definitely is a cop-out, but it's Conor Gallagher. He's there on loan right now, and he's not really been confirmed to get a new signing. He hasn't been signed. I'm hearing that maybe he wants to go back to Chelsea and try to, compete there. I just don't think he should. I don't think that he'll get the game time that he really wants there, and I think he deserves to be playing week in, week out. He's a fantastic player, and he's got that connection with the Palace fans. It's already in London. He wanted to move out anywhere. I think Palace makes some more sense when it comes to the likes of Conor Gallagher. He has to be at Palace. If he doesn't stay at Palace, then I'd be really, really disappointed. Okay, so Wolves fans, I'm sorry you may be quite sad at me because what I said about Ruben Neves. So who I think that you guys should bring in, he's Portuguese, obviously. If you guys do move on Ruben Neves, then I say go for a Renato Sanchez. Renato Sanchez, Portuguese international, big part of the Lille team that won Liga this year, of course, not being the absolute best, but there's always been a strong link between Sanchez and Wolves, and if they do sell Ruben Neves, then there'll be a gap right there for a new centre mid. For Portugal national team, he also does fantastic. Just get Renato Sanchez. West Ham United. They need a striker. I feel like their striking options, can be inconsistent, and that could be holding them back. Antonio's asked a lot of questions, does some good, but people may not be so sure about him. I think for West Ham, and this is probably unlikely, but I'm going to say it anyway, I think they could be going for a player like Ollie Watkins at Aston Villa. It kind of makes sense to me in my mind. I doubt it because Villa, they are building something there. Maybe Watkins may not want to leave. This is just what I'm seeing. And I think Ollie Watkins is a player that they should try to get. Or James Tarkowski. He's literally on a free. They literally put a bid on him last year. So actually, to be fair, let's ignore all that. It's going to be James Tarkowski. Speaking of James Tarkowski, Burnley. This is based on the fact that if Burnley do stay in the Premier League, who I think Burnley needs, as a Burnley fan, we need a striker. We need goals. One player is the likes of Mislav Orsic. We literally had a deal almost done and then got blue balled in the last second by Dinamo Zagreb. I believe that there's a chance that we could go back for Mislav Orsic as well. And I'm sorry, Villa fans. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to say it because I know they said Watkins, but I will change West Ham for Tarkowski. Okay, we'll allow that. I'm going to say Danny Ings. I would love Danny Ings. I know he's on high wages there. No, it's unlikely because of his wages. But I would do unspeakable things to get Danny Ings back at Burnley. Manchester City, of course, they've already brought in Haaland, so they don't really need many more signings in there. So I'll say one player that has been linked, and I think kind of suit the roles that they play, and also that kind of suits a spot that hasn't got that much depth, and I say Cucurella from Brighton and Hove Albion. Of course, he's got played a year there at Brighton. Brighton fans love him, but I'm hearing links already that City may want him for about 30 to 40 mil, and they have money. And if Brighton gets a big chunk of a fee, I think they would probably sell him, because that is a position which I think they need some more depth in, and I think he could do a good job there as well. Leeds, now of course, just like Burnley, just like Everton, this is based on the fact that if they do stay up in the Premier League, and one player that I'm seeing linked a lot, and it will make a lot of sense for the Jesse March link, and I think most Leeds fans already know who it is, and that is Aronson. Aronson, young lad over at RB Salzburg, of course, played for Jesse March's other team. He's also American, and he's doing very good as well over at Salzburg. That next, crop of talent that the Red Bull teams always seem to have, and I think that he's a great player that can be brought in and can do a job, and to develop with Leeds, overly reliant on Rafinha, who will most likely be leaving in the summer. So with Rafinha going, they need very desperately some creative players, or really just any players, because they've not really got consistent strikers. With that money, hopefully, be a lot of money from Rafinha for Leeds fans if they do stay up in Premier League. Okay, hopefully with Burnley staying up, I'm gonna hope. Probably not. They need to do a lot with that money. And Aronson is one player which I think would be making the more sense. Watford. Now, of course, Watford are already down, so we know that this will be for the Championship. And I would love them to make this signing, as it means that it would piss off our rivals. And that is Brayton Diaz. Of course, like Dennis, Ismail Sarr, maybe gets him moved on in the summer for that next step, potentially. So, and when he's not playing, it's a massive miss for them. He's a great player for Championship, and I think that at Watford, he'll get a lot more chances, a lot more opportunities, and also, it'll piss off our rivals. So, please sign him, Watford. Brentford, and this is reliant on the fact that if this player, which I'm going to say, goes up to Premier or not, and that is if they do not get promoted, Nottingham Forest, then Brennan Johnson. I just think that is a perfect kind of, neat, tidy player that Brentford would really suit him. Brennan Johnson, a young player, 18 goals, 10 assists, can play literally all over the park. He can play striker, can play as a left wing, number 10, as a right wing. I think that he's a great player that can go over to Brentford and improve. But again, this is heavily reliant on the fact that if they do not get promoted. If they do get promoted, then my other suggestion is, this is purely just off rumours, I'm going to just say Hamari Traore from Stade Rennais. Apparently there's links to him. So, him. I'm not going to lie here, I've just gone to Google for this one. But he is a good player and has done well for Stade Rennais. So yeah, there you go. First, Tottenham Hotspur. Of course, this is more likely that they will be in top 4 and that they will be in the Champions League. And I just always see this link every 2-3 years. So maybe because it's one of them that it just will never happen, because it's always linked, but it never happens. But he is going Paulo Dybala. Who says no? He is leaving Juventus. That's already confirmed. Where would he go to next? If Spurs gets top 4, the Argentinian links, Romero. There's always been an Argentinian at Spurs. How about Dybala? So I'm sorry that I left like Chelsea and Liverpool last. I didn't mean to. It's just how I just tick by. Chelsea, look, most people are saying Declan Rice, right? Most people will because of the Mason Mount link. There's always a lot of links between Chelsea and Rice. There's always been some interest, and it would make sense as I think it will suit that kind of role, which they may need to improve the midfield because Kante could be getting on a bit now, and I get it. However, I don't know why, but I can't see him leaving West Ham this summer. I don't know why, I just can't. But I would bring in a player which I think makes more sense, as they will be losing some players at the back, and that would be the likes of a centre-back, because Rudiger is already going to Real Madrid. So I say bring in the next upgrade, the next replacement, and that would be Koundé at Sevilla. Now, from what I've already gathered, Koundé has already said to Sevilla that he does want to move on in the summer. So this, for me, just makes that absolute more sense. Just bring in Koundé, because they need a centre-back. So I'm not going to say Rice, even though I think that it could happen. For some reason, I just see West Ham keeping him for another year. And then last but not least, Liverpool. And I would love this, like, piece of business. I would love it. I don't think it would be Bellingham. I think a lot of people saying Bellingham. I don't think that could happen. Who I hope it could be, though, is Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni at AS Monaco as well. That would be huge. A lot of plaudits. And if they really want to be serious for the next year and to improve their team, I think they could also improve the midfield in that kind of DM role. The Liverpool team is already so strong that it's hard to really make it much better. But I think Tchouaméni would just be a huge... There's a lot of players that Liverpool can get, and Tchouaméni would be huge for them. So I just would like that. So there you go, boys. That is my one signing that your club should make for next season. Unless you're Brighton, just sign any striker that can actually finish, okay? That's pretty easy, okay? Just anyone. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button and also subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys next time in a video. Stay safe and peace out.